I'm going to be predicting every single fight on the White House card. But first, I'm going to be showing you the fights that I missed when I wasn't able to upload on my channel, starting with the 327. I made full predictions for this, like a full prediction video just like this one, and it wouldn't let me upload it. It didn't end up getting uploaded, but I didn't do too bad on the card. I thought Padilla won, so that would have made me do better. I kind of think that's a robbery that they turned it into a draw for no reason, but doesn't really matter. 6-5-1, that actually is pretty bad. That's not as good as I thought it was. Burns versus Malott, I did pretty good. Yeah, I did pretty good. I thought Herbert was going to lose that. He was losing, and then he came back, crazy knockout. Sterling versus Alal, again, not that great, but I got the main event right. This is my total prediction record for the year so far. Main events, I'm doing terrible on main events, but that doesn't matter because this card, I think, I might be cursing myself here, but I think I'm gonna get perfect on this card, starting with Diego Lopes and Steve Garcia. This is gonna be a crazy scrap. I think this has potential to be fight of the night. Both of these guys are just absolute warriors, but I think Diego Lopes is gonna win by knockout or submission in the first or second round. I think it could be a scrap if Garcia can keep it on the feet, and if he just turns out to be better on the feet. We've seen Gene Silva outstrike Lopes. We've seen Volk outstrike Lopes. But in that Gene Silva fight, we've seen Diego take him down in the first round and just absolutely dominate him. So if he does the same to Steve Garcia, I think he could finish him. And even if he does defend the ground game and we see a full striking match, I could see Diego Lopes winning by knockout also pretty early in the fight. So I think Diego Lopes will win this fight by finish. I think Steve Garcia is really good. I think he's really underrated, but I think this is a big step up in competition. I think Diego Lopes is the number one contender in this division. He beats everyone but Volk, I think. So I think he's really good, and I think he's going to get the knockout. Moving on to Bo Nickal versus Kyle Daukaus. Now, this is my most 50-50 fight of the entire card. I have Bo Nickal by decision. I think that's the smarter pick. I think he's pretty good, but as soon as this fight got announced, of the whole time I could see Kyle Daukaus getting a knockout, and I haven't really seen the whole build-up. I was confused why no one was talking about it, but then I seen Lucas Tracy talking about it, and MMA Guru even picked Kyle Daukaus to win. I really want to pick Kyle Daukaus to win. I could see him getting a first-round knockout. Since coming back to the UFC, he's had 2 first-round knockouts, both in under a minute, against grapplers, against decent competition as well. But Bo Nickal is pretty good. His only loss is by body shot TKO to RDR, who has really nice knees. And I don't know. I think this is a decent step down in competition. I think Bo Nickal can get the decision. I think he could get a finish. He's proven that he's still a finisher. And I think he could get a submission, a knockout. But I'm going to take the decision here. I think this is the only fight that will go to decision on the entire card. Moving on to Mauricio Ruffy versus Michael Chandler. Now, at first I had Ruffy by McGregor Aldo 13-second KO. Just as soon as the fight started, Chandler's going to rush forward and get knocked out, which could happen because Chandler does have he has really good pressure. And I think he could score a takedown early on because that's what he did against Patty. So that's why I'm changing my pick to not be so early first-round KO, but I'm not changing my pick to Chandler at all. I'm still got Ruffy. I think he'll get around 2 KO after a rough first round. Chandler was able to take down Patty and pressure Patty and look good in that first round. And Ruffy got dominated by Benoit Saint-Denis, which isn't a bad loss. Benoit's looked really good since then. But Michael Chandler also has really good wrestling, and he has really good pressure. He could get in and get a takedown, but I think Ruffy will knock him out eventually in this fight, later in the first round if he can get up, or early in the second round. I got Ruffy by knockout. Next up, we got Josh Hokit taking on Derrick Lewis. This is a great fight. Josh Hokit is coming off a war against Curtis Blades, I think just 2 months ago. And that was a brutal scrap. Derrick Lewis hits harder than anyone in the UFC. He's got the most knockouts ever. But he's just not in his prime anymore, and he tends to give up pretty easily. And I feel like if Hokit can go in there and hit him the same way like when he rocked Blades early on in that first round, I feel like if he does that to Derrick Lewis, it'll be a first round knockout. Derrick Lewis will give up pretty easily. I don't see Derrick Lewis going to the second and third round and trying to scrap like Curtis Blades was. And also, Hokit is a wrestler. That's where his background was. The only reason we didn't see him grapple against Blades is because Blades is also one of the best grapplers in the heavyweight division. So it was a stand-up fight, but I feel like we could definitely see Hokit go to the grappling, take the Derrick Lewis down, and just dominate him on the ground here. Yeah, I see Hokit winning no matter where it is. It is obviously a scary fight. Derrick Lewis can land a huge power punch, but I think Hokit's got good enough boxing and wrestling, and just I think he's good enough everywhere to beat Derrick Lewis. And this might be a good spot for Derrick Lewis to retire. At the White House, I feel like would be a perfect spot. I can't see him doing more fights. Obviously, he still has a chance to win no matter who you put him up against, but I feel like he's done. So I feel like if he loses, he should retire. If he wins, honestly, he probably could also retire. But if he wins, he could probably go for a decent run. Or maybe not, because he is coming off that loss to Waldo. So I thought if he would have beat Waldo, you could have honestly given him like a number one contender fight. But he is coming off of a loss. So yeah, I don't know. I think win or lose against Hokit, he should probably retire at the White House. It would be a great send-off for him. But I got Hokit by early TKO, round 1, round 2. But yeah, I think early TKO for Hokit. Moving on to Sean O'Malley versus Aiemann Zahabi. Sean O'Malley is going to style on Zahabi so badly. I could see a decision, but I think he's going to knock him out. It's going to be a masterclass. I honestly don't know what round. I could see just an early first round KO, easy style. But I could also see O'Malley slowly picking up until the third round, where he just has a great third round and knocks him out, because he has a lot of good third rounds. So I think I'm going to take a round 3 knockout. He looked great against Song Yadong in that third round. But if it's an earlier KO, I wouldn't be surprised. Zahabi's good, but that decision against Vera was super close. O'Malley dominated Vera. I know MMA math doesn't really work, but they just looked so completely different in those fights. I got O'Malley by an insane performance. And then I don't think he's going to get the title shot. I still hope we see Merab versus Petr Yan. But hopefully we get O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen or something like that, because that's what should have been on here. That would have been a much more entertaining fight. But Zahabi got it. I'm Canadian, so I'm not upset about it. If he gets the win, that would be crazy. But I think O'Malley's going to dominate Zahabi and get the knockout at some point in the fight. Another big fight, Pereira making his heavyweight debut. It should have been against Aspinall, but Aspinall is still injured from the eye poke. So we have Cyril Gane getting another interim title shot. If he wins this, it'll be his 4th title fight, I think. And he'll probably lose all 4. But yeah, this is going to be a sick fight. This is probably, behind the Bo Nickal fight, this is probably the biggest fight that I'm most worried about. Pereira is really good, but so is Gane. Gane's also super good. But I think Pereira's going to be too fast. He's going to hit really hard. I don't know if he hits as hard as heavyweights, but I think just technically and with the speed, it's going to be too much for Gane. And I think we're going to see either a round 2 knockout where it's really quick, or a Khalil Roundtree type performance where it's a close fight, super close fight, everyone's worried, but Pereira pours it on him in the 4th and 5th round, and we might see a knockout in the late rounds. But I'm going to take a round 2 KO. I think Pereira's going to get it done quick. I think we're going to see him look good early. The first round's going to be scary, but I think we're going to see him just catch Gane, ground and pound TKO. And that's that. We're going to see Aspinall versus Pereira, hopefully soon. One of the biggest heavyweight fights ever. Pereira's going to be the GOAT. 3 bouts, it'll be insane. I think Pereira's going to win. I want Pereira to win. He's one of my favorite fighters. He can make history here. It's awesome. This all the stars have aligned. This needs to happen. But who knows? Gane could ruin another great thing for us. Moving on to the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. Now, the closer and closer to this fight we get, I've been more and more nervous for Ilia, but I'm not changing my pick. I can't see Gaethje actually winning this fight. Ilia's too good, too technical. He's beaten so much better people than Gaethje, and again, MMA math doesn't work. But knocking out people like Volk, Holloway, Oliveira is just insane. And Gaethje is just, I don't know, he's just a scrapper. You know, he's gotten a lot more technical lately, which is good for him. But I can't see him outboxing Ilia or out-grappling Ilia or doing anything here. I think he's going to get knocked out pretty early on, round 1, round 2. I think it's going to be round 1 knockout. But Gaethje, you know, he's a lot bigger. He's a lot longer. He is powerful. We've seen Ilia get dropped by a head kick before. Gaethje's last knockout was a head kick KO over Dustin Poirier. So that could play a factor. We could see Gaethje get a head kick KO over Ilia. That would be insane. But I don't think Gaethje is going to win this fight. Ilia's just too good. Ilia's just too good. It's nothing to do with Gaethje. Ilia is just that guy. He's way too good. I want to see him move up and fight Islam. I want to see him fight Arman, something like that. Gaethje's awesome. I love Gaethje, but he's not going to win this fight. He's going to get knocked out brutally in the first round in front of the president at the White House, and it's going to be brutal. I don't think Sean O'Malley is going to be the only American to win on this card. Or no, Josh Hokit, but he's fighting an American. So, yeah. The only American that's going to win that isn't fighting an American will be Sean O'Malley. And I think every fight on this card has a potential to get a knockout or a finish at least, except maybe the Bo Nickal fight. But even then, I think Bo Nickal could finish Kyle Daukaus or vice versa. I think fight of the night is either going to go to Pereira and Gane or these two. Or maybe even Josh Hokit if that fight goes on late, but I don't think it will. So I think Pereira Gane or Steve Garcia and Diego Lopes will get the fight of the night. Performance bonus, either Ruffy, O'Malley, or Ilia. Depends who gets the craziest knockout. I hope you guys enjoyed. Or Pereira, too, if Pereira gets an insane performance. Honestly, any of these fights could get the performance bonus, like the KO of the night. But I think fight of the night will either be Alex Pereira versus Gane or Diego Lopes and Steve Garcia. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like my picks. And I will see you guys after the card for the recap and for matchmaking.